You realize you're gay, and for one sharp, electric moment, it feels like clarity, like you just solved a brutal riddle that's been clawing at your sanity for years. You're not broken, you're just not straight, which, in theory, should be liberating. But in practice, it's like unlocking a door only to find out it opens into a church sermon about you. And then the world notices, and the world doesn't respond with a cake and a parade. No, the world says, cool. Now here's your welcome gift: judgment, suspicion, and a lifetime subscription to invasive questions about your genitals and moral fiber. You'd think it would be easier by now. You'd think the concept of being attracted to someone wouldn't melt people's brains, but somehow your harmless crush is treated like a biohazard, while your straight coworker makes out with their spouse in a Chili's and no one bats an eye. Welcome to gay life, where your existence is seen as rebellion, even when all you did was buy toothpaste. It starts early. You spend years trapped in a fog of weirdness, watching every rom com and thinking, wow, I feel literally nothing. Then one same gender character shows up, says two words, and your body reacts like it's just been hit with a defibrillator. Then comes denial, the greatest performance of your life. You fake crushes, flirt with people you don't even like, and say things like, that actress is hot, with the enthusiasm of someone naming their favorite tax form. You Google, am I gay? So many times the algorithm starts recommending conversion therapy. Still, the truth leaks out, quietly, persistently, like blood through a paper towel. Coming out isn't a one time thing, it's a constant, soul numbing routine. You come out to your friends, your family, your boss, your Uber driver, and that one aunt who keeps calling your boyfriend your roommate. Every new person is a roulette spin. Will they be chill, or will they suddenly turn into a medieval priest? And even when people are okay with it, there's a tone, a pause, a moment of recalibration. I still love you, Lance, like, I guess I won't disown you yet. Others get fascinated in the worst way. Like you've just confessed to being a ghost or a witch. What was your first clue? They ask, like they're gathering evidence for a documentary. Family gets weird. Some are genuinely supportive. Others treat your truth like a betrayal. But you seemed so normal. Yeah, sorry I didn't come out in a rainbow cloud during my 7th birthday party. My bad. Holidays become endurance tests. You walk in with your partner, and suddenly you're the cause of everyone's awkward silence. Someone inevitably says something homophobic wrapped in nostalgia. You smile, grit your teeth, and try not to ruin the cranberry sauce with rage. Dating? It's a disaster. Straight people have romance handed to them like IKEA furniture. Some assembly required, but the instructions exist. You? You get a haunted house full of broken parts and no exits. Apps are full of shirtless torsos, emotional landmines, and people who ghost you mid sentence. And when someone does show interest, you have to ask, are they safe? Out? A repressed homophobe in disguise? Rejection hurts, but not just because it's rejection. It's often dipped in casual cruelty. You're cute for a guy. I'd never date someone who's actually gay, but maybe we could hook up. You become a novelty, a curiosity, an experiment, not a person, a kink with a pulse. Public affection becomes high stakes calculus. Hold hands? Maybe. Depends on the city, the street, how close the nearest exit is, and whether anyone nearby looks like they've watched too much cable news. You risk violence for a moment that straight people post on Instagram with vintage filters. Work becomes a mask you wear. You monitor your voice, your tone, the pronouns you use. You laugh at the wrong jokes to stay safe. You dodge questions like you're in the Matrix just to keep your job. Because being openly gay at work still feels like a career risk, especially if the HR team thinks diversity means one poster during Pride Month. Some people treat you like a fashion accessory. You're gay? We should totally go shopping together. Others think you're a threat. Don't hit on me. Please, Brad. I have higher standards than someone who still wears cargo shorts and quotes Joe Rogan. Media representation is a mix of starvation and disappointment. You grow up with dead queers, tragic queers, or the sassy gay friend who exists solely to validate a straight woman's mediocre choices. And when a gay character finally gets a happy ending, half the internet riots like someone burned down their childhood. Religion? Don't get started. Even if you've escaped it, someone will bring it up like it's an argument winning card. But the Bible says, cool, Brenda. The Bible also says, don't eat shrimp. You planning to fight Red Lobster next? You think going to therapy will help? Until your therapist winces when you say the word boyfriend. Finding a mental health provider who doesn't treat your sexuality like a trauma response is like hunting for buried treasure with a broken compass. You sit there, paying by the hour, while they ask if you've tried not being gay, in slightly fancier words. Medical care isn't much better. Doctors ask if you're sexually active, then flinch when you answer honestly. Suddenly, your flu symptoms turn into a moral exam. You didn't come for judgment, you came for antibiotics, or at least some damn Advil. People debate your rights like it's a stimulating thought experiment. Should gay people adopt? Should gay marriage be legal? These are not questions, they're loaded weapons disguised as discourse. You exist, and they call it a conversation starter. Even your voice gets turned into evidence. Too deep, threatening, too light, mocked. You try to sound like yourself, but someone's always there to turn it into a punchline. You get used to being someone's icebreaker at a party. My gay friend said, as if you're a citation, not a person. You try to find peace online, but the trolls are faster than your Wi Fi. You post a photo, and suddenly you're corrupting the youth. Meanwhile, the youth are watching horror movies rated 17 plus and following influencers who start cults. But your couple pick is the real danger. Traveling is its own hellscape. You pack two versions of yourself, one for safety, one for survival. You learn which countries could arrest you for existing and which airlines will glare at you for breathing. You plan romantic getaways with the same caution most people use for wilderness survival. Even joy has a price. You fall in love and someone calls it performative. You kiss in public and someone recoils. You exist in happiness and someone sees it as arrogance. Your triumphs are always treated like overreactions, while your suffering is treated like background noise. And then, just when you start to feel okay, someone reminds you you're lucky. It's cool to be gay now, they say. Like you haven't spent years dodging trauma like debris from a slow motion explosion. So you laugh. Because it's either that or scream into a void that echoes back with slurs and legislative bills. And you keep going. You scrape together joy like gold dust. You find people who get it, who see you and don't ask for an explanation. You build your life, not in spite of the world's refusal to accommodate you, but because you deserve more than survival. Being gay isn't a trend, it isn't a debate. It's not a crime, a confession, or a marketing gimmick, but the world keeps twisting it into one. And still, you're here, bruised, brilliant, burning, not asking for permission, which to some people is the worst sin of all.